Consider this small situation. I just stubbed my toe. The priest at church today says that we should offer up our sufferings for others. I decided to write my prayer down and stick it on this wooden board, offering it up. But how does this even help the person I'm doing it for? How can I be sure it will reach them? Well, that is the worldly way of viewing things. I think I felt that too, many times. For me, I never really understood how offering our suffering would do good for another. But after reading more about St John Paul II, I slowly discovered the significance of giving up our sorrows for the good of others. We must see that we are placing our offerings not on a wooden board, but placing on Jesus' cross, offering it up to Him, the wood of Jesus' cross. Let me walk you through the mind of St John Paul II and how he understood this. When we decide to offer up our sufferings for an intention, we are telling God this: I want to see past myself and look towards the good of others. Isn't this just like what Jesus did for us on the cross? He offered up His suffering. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing. He offered up His life of suffering, dying on the cross for our sins. Same, a prayer to His Father in His suffering. We as Christians have to realize that we can come so close in union with God's heart and passion when we offer up our suffering. God sees us in our pain, and despite our pain, we still want to offer up someone. Our prayers become so much more meaningful and powerful, and are set alight by our love and God's love. Pope John Paul II would often turn to the sick and request prayers for the church. He knew that these people are the ones that had a special place in God's heart. In 1 Peter 4:19, therefore, let those who suffer according to God's will entrust their souls to a faithful Creator while doing good. While we suffer in alignment with God's plan for us, we can do good in the form of praying for others. This is the essence of this Bible verse, offering our suffering up. And as we do that, we have full trust in God. Don't waste your suffering. A group of priests were on a pilgrimage to meet Pope John Paul, and one of them hurt his leg on the way there and had to walk most of the journey with a cast on his foot and on crutches. After the journey finally ended, and the moment when they meet the Pope, they approached him one at a time. When the injured priest had his turn, Pope John Paul saw his leg, pulled him close, and whispered into his ear, "Don't waste your suffering." And with that, the visit was done. From big to small worries, and even our minor inconveniences, we can lift them up to God. I remember when I used to travel to school, and I see this man who always sit next to me in the bus, mumbling to himself, and people would look at him, stare at him and wonder, what are you doing? But he kept to himself and continued his journey to work. There was a day where I got on the same bus as him, as always, and happened to see him holding something in his frail hands. It was a rosary, and I was so amazed that he could even offer up something so small to God. His time, his travel, his commute to work. That was what he offered. And the lesson that I learned was, there's nothing too small that we can offer up to God. Your household chores, your injured knee, and even the long wait to the hairdresser. God sees all these, and these are worthy to Him, equally worthy to Him. By our faith, God will hear us, especially in our suffering, so let's make good use of them.